a nation grieves the loss of Rush Limbaugh, who passed away yesterday morning at the age of 70 after a battle with stage 4 cancer. It's a very peculiar thing to face a life-threatening illness publicly. And I have such enormous gratitude for Rush's wife, Catherine, who made the announcement yesterday at the beginning of his show. The word came out because of Catherine's announcement. She was so stoic, so strong, had to be incredibly brave to face millions and millions of listeners who were ready for the Rush Limbaugh show. Here's cut 2. This is Rush's wife, Catherine, with the announcement during the beginning of yesterday's Rush Limbaugh show.
From today on, there will be a tremendous void in our lives and, of course, on the radio. Rush loved our miraculous country beyond measure. An unwavering patriot. He loved our United States military, our flag, our Constitution, our founding fathers. He proudly fought and defended conservative values in a way that no one else can. Rush often stood up and took arrows on his own because he knew it was the right thing to do. Rush encouraged so many of us to think for ourselves, to learn, and to lead. He often said it did not matter where you started or what you look like. As Americans, we all have endless opportunities like nowhere else in the world. Rush gave us hope that through hard work and determination, we can overcome the obstacles in our lives and be our best. Many of you started small businesses or pursued personal dreams because Rush gave you the faith that you could. He made the most complex issues simple to understand, while making that level of genius look easy. It most certainly was anything but easy. Irreplaceable, remarkable talent. On behalf of the Limbaugh family, I would personally like to thank each and every one of you who prayed for Rush and inspired him to keep going. You rallied around Rush and lifted him up when he needed you the most. I am certain, without a shadow of a doubt, if he could be here today, he would be. He loved you, and he loved this radio program with every part of his being.
It's a beautiful tribute from the widow of Rush Limbaugh during the beginning of yesterday's show. And all of us who get to make a living in this profession, in this industry, in this medium, truly owe our careers to him. And frankly, every single person at every talk radio station in America owes their job to him. AM radio was dying, and Rush single-handedly saved it. In the 80s, when he came along and he was discovered in Sacramento and was brought to New York, where he was not welcomed by the manager there. It was a very, very volatile time for Rush. He was put in a cubicle out in the hall. The guy there said, "You're never going to last. You're never going to make it. We don't want you here. You may play in the Midwest, but you're not going to play well in New York." He went on to become the biggest rated show in New York City. And of course, millions and millions of loyal ditto heads all over the country for decades. To get to know him a little bit, and not well, but I got to get close to the wizard because my office was down the hall from his at WABC. It was fun for me to watch. He did sort of have a little bit of an entourage. He would leave the radio station at Two Penn Plaza every day with kind of Kit Carson and, Bo Snerdley and a couple of other guys. He often had security and there'd be a little entourage. I'm like, man, I'm like working at the same radio station with Rush. One day he came out of the studios and I saw him in the hall and I said, how'd the show go today, Rush? And without missing a beat, he said, not so good. I didn't feel like I had it today. I wasn't on my game, didn't really like where it landed. And I thought, that's a little bit, this is a little bit like Shakespeare saying I didn't quite get that prose just the way I wanted it. I thought if Rush Limbaugh was humble enough to say, the show wasn't as great as I wanted it to be, well, that was a lesson to me to always try to get better at this. And I've been around a little bit. 1978 was my first talk radio gig. And to this day, I always try to get better. I listen to tapes. I know my weaknesses. I interrupt you too much when you call me. I know that. I try. I really do. I want to be compassionate. I want to be fair. I want to put myself in other people's shoes, but I want to fight for what I believe in, and I want to do it with passion and clarity, and I want to be entertaining. Again, all of us owe this industry to him. And there's as beautiful a tribute as you'll read by my friend and colleague Mark Davis, who wrote a column for townhall.com, which we've posted at mikeonline.com, called Rush Limbaugh's Greatest Gift. Mark was in that rarefied circle of occasional fill-in hosts for Rush over the years. Mark, of course, is the morning host at AM 660, The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth. Mark is a legendary host in his own right and has become one of my best friends in the world. And every morning I do a hit with Mark every single day. He's so gracious to welcome me daily to his show. And that's all on Mark. Mark and I love doing these segments every morning, 7:35 a.m. We always have a joke, hashtag 735. And he's really become like a brother to me. And Mark has filled in for Rush over the years. Mark had a syndicated show with ABC as well for a period of time and is just a remarkable human being. Mark penned this tribute that said something about miracles and God. And I'll let you read the whole article at mikeonline.com. But Mark acknowledges how we were all praying for Rush. Because again, a cancer battle when you're a radio host can become, very, very public, not personal, not private. And Mark writes, miracles happen. So when we knew that Rush had this terrible diagnosis, we were praying for a miracle. And Mark writes, one of the most valuable things I've learned about prayer is to know that sometimes we get what we seek and sometimes we don't. When we don't, it doesn't mean the prayer was not heard. It means God had other plans. It is sad for us that the plan did not grant us more Rush Limbaugh shows, but his will, God's will, is perfect. And the fact is, we had 33 years of radio to enjoy from this uniquely gifted man. And for that, we should be eternally grateful. We are, Mark. Well done, my friend. Check out Mark's column at mikeonline.com called Rush Limbaugh's Greatest Gifts.